Join me in today's video as we talk about 5 tips you should know when playing Apex Legends. Be sure to tune out throughout the whole video, guys. And without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's jump straight into the video. Hello everyone, how are you guys all doing today? My name is Mirko and welcome back to another video on the channel. So before we get into today's video, guys, I'd just love to say a massive thank you because we've hit 500 subs on the channel, which is a big milestone for myself, and I'd just like to thank everyone that has been subscribed for a while and also you new subscribers that have recently subscribed to me from the past week or so. I would love for you guys to experience this YouTube journey with me, and thanks for all the recent support. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed. I try to read all of the comments and reply to all of them on every single video I do, so thank you guys, I really appreciate it. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the main part of this video. Now the first tip we're going to be speaking about is hip firing. Now guys, I'm not sure if any of you are aware, but if you've tried it before, you know what I mean on this game, where hip firing is so good and it's more accurate than ever. I mean, as you can see on screen, hip firing, the bullet spread isn't even that large. I definitely think hip firing is a really good thing, especially up close, and the reason why it's good is because you can actually strafe, move left and right and sort of try and make it hard for the enemy to land bullets onto you. It'll take a while to get used to hip firing, but up close it can be an absolute game changer, and if you get the hang of it, that just puts you one step ahead of every other player. As I said, you should only be hip firing really when you're up close, and if you do it medium to long range, you're going to be inaccurate. So as I said, only do it up close, maybe when you're first landed into the map and you're really struggling with weapons and you've got enemies all around you and are shooting at you. Hip firing can definitely come into play there, and be sure you're strafing when you're hip firing to make it hard for the enemies to land them shots onto you. I personally didn't even know hip firing was that good, but when I started doing it, I actually realised how good it is in this game, because a lot of first person shooter games make the hip firing really bad to use and the spread is really high to the point where you're better off not doing it at all. But in this game it's actually usable, and I definitely recommend using this in your game when you're in up close engagements. Now the second tip we're going to be going into is map awareness. Now we're going to specifically talk about cover, because cover in this game is the most important thing. I mean, you need to be sure where your cover is, you need to be sure of your surroundings when playing this game, because if you're in an open space and there's no cover and you're getting shot at, you're most probably going to die or go down in that situation. So even when you're casually running and there's no enemies near you, just make sure of your surroundings. Just look at cover around you, make sure you're at least within 10 meters of cover, because if you do start getting shot at, you've got somewhere to go. The worst thing is if you're getting shot at and there's no cover next to you, so make sure you're always running next to a place of cover just as a backup plan, because guys, it's not fun getting shot at and you can do absolutely nothing about it. That's the worst thing. So always be sure you're checking your surroundings and you're always next to a place of cover, and that will really help you guys out and save you from getting downed. Now the third tip we're going to go into is using your Legends abilities at the right time. Now guys, I've seen so many people, bearing in mind the game's new, using their Legend abilities at the complete wrong time. Sometimes when they've got it activated, they use it straight away. Guys, I can't explain how important these abilities are in game, and this changes the game completely. These abilities, you want to make sure you're taking advantage of them, because you can't use them all the time, and you want to make sure you know what you're using and you use it at the right time in game. Now for example, I use Bangalore Legend. Now she actually has a smoke grenades as one of her abilities. Now I like to use that in certain situations. Now if I'm getting shot at and there's absolutely no cover next to me, I will just shoot them on the ground and build up loads of smoke around me to make it harder for the enemies to shoot me. Another time I'd use it is if I have a downed teammate, I'll just shoot it around there and revive my teammate. I will use it in situations where I know it's going to benefit me. I won't use it randomly, I will use it accordingly and just save it until the right time. It's all about thinking outside the box and thinking better than your opponents. The game is still fairly new, everyone's all over the place, and not a lot of people are actually using these abilities at the right time and when they need to. So if you can get your hands on this and you can understand what your abilities do and when to use them, when not to use them, that will already put you in an advantage going into a game against all the other people that don't know when to use them and aren't smart enough to think outside the box, because these abilities all serve a different purpose, and if you can really take advantage of these abilities in game, I'll tell you what guys, you will save yourself a lot of situations. And that's why the abilities are in the game. They're to make it more competitive and make you really think, what is this ability going to be used best for, and how am I going to take full advantage of it? So make sure you guys think when you're picking your next ability, how are you going to use it in game to fully benefit you. Anyway, on to the fourth tip. Now the fourth tip we're going to speak about is communication. Now this game is all about working in a team, and that's why I honestly don't think we're going to see a solos game mode or even a duos game mode anytime soon. They would have released it at launch, but I think this whole Battle Royale game is really based on working as a team, and more than any other Battle Royale game we've seen before. And as you guys can see, the communication key in this game on PlayStation, that R1 button literally marks anything you want. It marks enemies, it marks loot, you know, it literally speaks to other players in game, and you want to really take advantage of this, especially if you're playing solo. You want to make sure you're communicating with your teammates and you're all roughly in the same area and helping each other out. Make sure you're looking at their shield. If you see blue body armor on the floor and your teammate hasn't got one, make sure you're marking it for them, because that's going to help them in the long run survive, take more shots, and it's overall going to help your team out. You know, you want to make sure you're looking out for your teammates as much as you're looking out for yourself as well, and that's really going to get you on to hopefully winning the game. I've honestly had times where I've been left by myself, both of my teammates have died, and honestly guys, it's almost impossible to go against a team in this game. You really need to have your team by your side. If you're going by yourself and your teammates have died, I mean, you've got to pull something out of the bag to be able to clutch it in this game. Now the final tip we're going to speak about is field of view. Now in my previous video, in my best settings video for Apex Legends, I spoke about field of view and I said how I was going to test it out and see how I get on, because it did say in the settings that it can affect your gameplay. But honestly guys, since making that video, I have not stopped using it. I cannot go back to using normal settings. If you don't know what field of view is, it basically zooms out your screen so you can see more of your surroundings, and basically it just gives a bigger picture in screen. And because you can see more in game, that helps you pick off enemies that to the side of your screens. You know, even if you see something you wouldn't normally see if you're zoomed in all the way on your normal settings. So field of view, I'd definitely recommend you guys try it. It is an absolute game changer on console. So anyway guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, be sure you're dropping a like. A like is always appreciated. It really helps my videos out. And anyway, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here guys. Thank you all for watching this Apex tips video, and I catch all of you guys out in another one. Thanks for watching. Take care guys.